Hello, welcome back to another episode of Igniting Inspiration. My name is Courtney O'Connor and I'm the literacy coach at Irving Elementary. And in today's episode, you're going to be seeing a guided reading group of Fluent fifth graders learning to analyze characters with their teacher, Michelle Fischer. She's using the Jan Richardson framework to teach this strategy. She's using the who, what, why strategy, and you're going to kind of see the different components of this framework as she moves through the lesson. The Richardson framework has really provided our classroom teachers a structure to teach comprehension strategies to our students that build their proficiency in different reading skills. One of the cool things about the Richardson framework is that she really helps teachers become better reading teachers by providing all kind of prompts and scaffolds in order to help support students best. Typically, this lesson would be over 4 days, but for the sake of this video, we've kind of combined day 1 and day 2 together, and then you'll come back and you'll see what the writing would look like on the 3rd day. And on that, students are extending their comprehension through their writing response.
Looking back at years past and just kind of comparing how my guided reading was before versus now, I almost wish I could go back in time and reteach those classes because yes, I feel like I was pretty strong at guided reading, and I felt like I was pulling groups every day, and I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. But now I just feel so much more confident after using this model. I feel like it's so much more effective than what I was doing before. So this is our book that we're going to be working on this week. So this is about a student named Alex, and him and his classmates are going on a field trip. Okay, so on this field trip, he is going to be inspired by something, and you're going to see Alex change a little bit throughout the story. So our strategy this week is going to be the who, what, why strategy. We've been talking about characters, mostly because we're reading the book Joey Pigza in our book club books. Okay, and Joey Pigza is a complex character. Okay, we have to understand why characters do things and the importance of their actions. So that's what we're going to practice today. We're going to be doing the who, what, why strategy. So we're going to be identifying who the most important character is, what they're doing, or what they did on that page or in that chapter, and why they did that. Okay? Before we get started, let's talk about some words we're going to see today. Before you start writing anyone down, we're going to find them in our book, and then we'll copy down our definition, okay? So the first word, some of you may have heard it before, is going to be on page 3. So I want you to go ahead and turn to page 3, and it's the word accurate. When you find the word, I want you just to put your finger on the word accurate. That's it. All right, so I'm going to read the sentence accurate, okay? It says, everyone says I'm a little shy, and I have to admit it's an accurate description. So accurate, in this case, means correct. So go ahead and write that down in your notes. So on page 3, we're going to see the word accurate, and that means correct. And while you're writing that down, I want you to think of another time maybe you've heard this word, or maybe an example of how we can use that word. So go ahead and read pages 2 and 3. When you're done, I want you to think about who these 2 pages are mostly about, okay? Who is the main character of these 2 pages? So George, take a look at the last line here. Do you see how it says, I'm definitely ready to go home? What do you think motivated him to say that?
Because he's been at a lot of places, and it tells us one type of fact that he's been there for 48 hours, so that's 2 days long, and he's ready to go home.
Yeah, he's probably tired, right? Good. Keep reading. So just pause there, okay? So here it says that he wanted to say that he liked the dinosaur skeleton the most, but he didn't. Why do you think he didn't say that?
Probably because he would have thought everyone would think that he's like a little baby or something.
Okay. Why do you think he might feel that way?
Because probably because he likes dinosaurs and probably everyone else doesn't.
Good. So I want you to take a second to think about who these 2 pages were mostly about. Okay? We're going to practice the strategy together before you guys do it on your own. So let's take a look. We met our first character, right? And who is mainly talking in these 2 pages, or who are we focusing on? So we're looking at this first part here. Emma?
Alex.
Alex, good. And do you guys know what grade he is in? He's 5th grade, so he's your age, right? So our who for these 2 pages would be Alex. All right. What does Alex do in these 2 pages? So our next question asks us, what did he or she do? What does Alex do? George?
Alex is going on trips for 48 hours.
So he's going to the museum, right?
What he wanted to say was dinosaurs, but he didn't want to say it because that would be embarrassing.
Okay, so I'm going to take half of what you said. So what he does is he sits quietly on the bus, right? All of his friends, they're talking about all their favorite museum or all their favorite spots that they visited. And he says that I really wanted to say that I like the Dinosaur Skeleton Museum, but he sat quietly on the bus and didn't say that. So for the what, I'm going to put sits quietly while classmates talk about the trip. I want you to take a second to think about why he sat quietly. You can go back and look in the book. I want you to take a second to think, why would he sit there quietly? Why would he not share? Okay, so take a look back and think, why might he not share that? That his favorite dinosaur skeleton, or his favorite exhibit was the dinosaur skeleton.
Because he's kind of like embarrassed and shy.
He's embarrassed and shy. Awesome. All right, so what we know about Alex so far, and I'm writing really messy right now. What we know about Alex so far is that his classmates are all talking, they're all excited about this trip, and he really wants to share, but he's embarrassed and shy. Okay, so he sits quietly. So that's what we know about our first character. All right, so what you guys are going to do now, you are going to read pages 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then you're going to find a Post-it. And on that Post-it, you're going to do exactly what we did, but you're going to do it on your own, okay? So you're going to write with your pencil on your Post-it what we did. Who is it mostly about? It might not be Alex, okay? What characters do we focus on those pages? What do those characters do? And why are they doing that? Okay? So go ahead and get questions. Yes. Yes, I'll put the page numbers up top here, okay? So 4, 5, 6, and 7. It should be up until your first Post-it. So today, for our writing day, our prompt is going to be to pick one of those characters, okay? So you're going to pick one of those characters using the Post-its that you guys wrote out this week, and you're going to identify the character, so who the character is, something that they did, and why you think that they did that. There are 2 things, though, I'm going to be looking for today in your writing. One is that you use text evidence, okay? So when you're using text evidence, how could you include that in your writing? What are some words you could say so that way I know that it's evidence from the book? You guys think of anything? That's what we'll work on this right now so we can help each other out. Okay. Are you just going to say so-and-so did this? No, what could you say so I know that it came from the book?
Telling what was happening inside the book.
Okay. Okay, but how would I know that it was from the book? What are some key words you could say?
Oh, wait. Get things from the text.
Okay, something from the text, more specifically. Maybe what could you find at the bottom of all these pages?
The numbers.
Page numbers. You could always say, on page 5, so-and-so, did this, okay? Or like you said, or one of you guys said, from the text, good, or in the text. Those are some good ways that you can transition into text evidence. So that's one thing I'm going to be looking for. The second thing I'm going to look for, we've been working in grammar about subject and predicate and adding periods, okay? I know I see some smirks because it's hard, right? It's hard to figure out when a complete sentence is done, and that's what I'm going to help you with. So make sure to include periods. I know that sometimes everyone doesn't like to include periods, but make sure when you go through, when you're finished, reread it. See where a complete thought stops, okay? And then I'll help you with that too. So those are the 2 things we're looking for today. Text evidence and punctuation, okay? Periods, question marks, exclamation point, whatever you're using in your writing. Okay, so our prompt. You're going to name a character. Tell reader, which is going to be me, but it could be anyone. Tell reader something that they did. Okay. They did and why they did it. Okay, and remember we're looking for, I'm going to be checking your punctuation and helping you with it. Don't get nervous. Punctuation and text evidence. Okay. Any questions? Nope. All right, go ahead and get started, and I'll just be checking in with you guys. Remember to use your Post-its that you work so hard on all week. Who are you choosing to write about? Alex. Okay. So why don't we start by, so I love how you're including that. Why don't you start by introducing Alex first to the reader? Okay. Pretend I don't know who Alex is. Okay. First tell me, who Alex is. You can even say the book title if you want. Awesome. I love your punctuation. The one thing I want us to work on, we're not going to change it right now, is let's try and work on different ways to start our sentences next time, okay? I know that's kind of tough. But you had included text evidence, and your punctuation's great, Emma. High five.